Hey everybody, it's Atheist for the Cause here with another opinion piece for you. And I'm just going off my head, and I've got some points I've written down about, investigations into Trump. Um, on these opinion pieces, I do tend to cite my sources a little less, so you'll have to follow up and look back into it because, you know, if you guys have been paying attention, you should know most of this information. And this is more of a review. So it's kind of common knowledge by now. Well, maybe not common, but, for people who follow politics, the things I say, they're going to typically know where it's coming from at the very least. You're going to have heard it before. And I think just putting all this information into one spot can help you realize why, these investigations are BS and help explain why my opinion is that an official investigation into Trump should not, and obstruction of justice and some of these other investigations should not even be considered, why impeachment should be off the table. So, the first thing I want to say is that, and maybe some people don't know this, but if the president breaks the law, you can't even charge them while they're in office. So, the only thing you can do, you have to wait for them to go out of office and then charge them. The only thing you can do is impeach them, which is a political process. It really doesn't deal with anything legal, but you can use a legal justification for impeaching a president. So, but anyways, let's get down to the points. In my notes here, the first point I've written down is that Comey had to break the law to hide Trump obstruction of justice. Okay, so one of the newest complaint that Congress has, or the Democrats have, whatever you want to call it, is that Trump obstructed justice by firing Comey. There are a number of problems with this, but one of the biggest problems with this, if you're going off that memo that Comey wrote and then leaked to the mainstream media, it would be that, Comey himself would to have broken the law. He himself would have been an accessory to obstruction of justice. He would be, as the investigator, he would have a conflict and be obstructing himself. He would lose his so if Trump gets in trouble for this because it's found that Trump actually did obstruct justice, that could literally lead to Comey losing his law license or being imprisoned. That's how serious it would be for Comey. And I think in order to claim that both Trump and Comey obstructed justice, to prove one is difficult enough. Now you're proving both. You're trying to prove both people did. The amount of evidence you need is just going to grow. Then you have to move on and you say, the FBI claimed no investigation was hindered. So how can an obstruction of justice happen if no investigation was actually hindered? Then Comey himself claimed that Trump's firing was reasonable, that the president's job is, or that the president has the power to fire the FBI director, and that's accurate. It's his job to hire and appoint FBI directors. There's nothing wrong with firing an FBI director on the face of it. So the firing itself is not evidence of anything. Then you have for getting into some of the other investigations with General Flynn, the FBI cleared General Flynn. That's what people forget, yes, the FBI actually cleared General Flynn. So if you're going to try to impeach Trump on saying, that there was collusion with Russia and because of the, or at least his campaign, and Flynn proves that, no, it doesn't, because Flynn was cleared. Then you go to, there was and that's the other ridiculous thing about this memo. It's talking about an investigation where they cleared Flynn. It wasn't that Trump had anything to do with obstructing the investigation. They went through with the full investigation. They even themselves claimed that the White House had worked with them, didn't try to stall at all. They went above and beyond what they had to do. And the result was a conclusion that Flynn did not break the law. Okay? And, keep in mind, merely having activity with people from another country, having economic business deals with people from other countries, being paid by other countries, this in itself is not illegal. Even by Russia, it's not illegal for Russia to be paid by Russia. So then we move on and I want to get into some of the allegations about the vote. So no vote was actually changed by Russia. They may have tried to influence the elections in some ways, just as many countries do, just as, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Norway, and even places like France, the United Kingdom, Germany. You could go on and on with the amount of countries that paid money to Hillary Clinton. That could all be considered attempting to influence the elections. And there are, different ways. I mean, the fact that the British intelligence, created a dossier to go after Trump, that shows some pretty strong collusion, actually. There's actually a payment there for an influence of an election. And the FBI even tried paid that ex-MI6 agent, who, by the way, happened to go back to his job a few months later. So it's pretty clear he quit just to spy on Trump, get the dossier in the FISA court, which had already said no. But now with this extra information that turned out to be nothing, the court and the limited scope, they limited what they asked for. It turned out that the FISA court decided to accept the second one. So the second request. So it was really built on a loophole. It was built on BS from the start. It was built on collusion of the UK trying to influence US elections. And it doesn't matter that there are allies. They are a foreign entity trying to influence our elections. So if anything, I think the actual collusion came from the other side. But it certainly didn't come from Trump. And in fact, I have another point here. Let me finish that point up with no vote was changed by Russia. This was actually investigated and concluded, the voting machines themselves were not tampered with or anything like that. But the point I was just about to make was that Russia tried to actually infiltrate the Trump campaign. Now, if the argument is that Russia and Trump are colluding together, that means that the Trump campaign is effectively working for Russia. If the Trump campaign is working for Russia, why in the world would they try to infiltrate the Trump campaign? They meaning Russia. That makes no sense. So, file that one in the bullshit category. Moving on. And this is really getting to my final point. A point that I wish other people made more often. Chavez, I heard him talking about it a little bit, but it's he's been saying that in order for an investigation to even start, an official investigation, there needs to be some evidence to start with. We don't have evidence. That's why there has been no official investigation. There have been leaks of a possible memo, and maybe there's other memos, and Trump mentioned that he hopes that an audio doesn't come out. I don't think there are audio. I just think he's telling Comey not to illegally leak information. But if there is audio, Congress hasn't seen any of that. So in order to get into any official investigation, there needs to be evidence to begin with. The police can't just go to your house and, start investigating you. There needs to be some sort of probable cause, some sort of evidence to begin with, to think that you're doing something wrong. This is, the land of the free after all, and that includes our president. You can't just go investigating him. And it's not just, the president is powerful, but it's not just the issue of investigating the president. It's the issue of you can be politically motivated to investigate the president, which damages the reputation of the entire country. It damages the reputation of the president, and it can be harmful in terms of hurting the people who actually voted for that president. For instance, I voted for Trump. I feel that if there is a political witch hunt against Trump, and there are these investigations without evidence, that's actually harming me. That's silencing me as a voter. So, the mere investigation is harmful and distracting. There could be other things going on. So people should really speak up, and it's not that I'm scared of the result, because I'm fairly confident, over 95% confidence, I'd say, that nothing's going to happen to Trump. If they go through with a full investigation, I think they will find that there was no wrongdoing, or not actionable wrongdoing at the very least. So, I guess that about wraps it up. But people need to start speaking up. I called my representative in the House today. I told them that I don't want an investigation, and this is why. And there is no evidence until there is. There shouldn't be an official investigation. I went through all my points. I listed all the different investigations that have been brought up. And, by myself, I might not be listened to, but if enough people call in, with the elections coming up especially Republicans calling in to Republicans, that's where the most can happen, because the Republicans don't really know if they should support Trump or not. But as long as right now his support among Republicans is very high, but it's also very low among Democrats. So if the support among Trump supporters starts to waver, that could actually hurt Trump, in the sense that the Republican establishment has never really wanted to go along with Trump, and that will give them the reason to start obstructing Trump. But the pressure will be on the Republican establishment in Congress to work with Trump, get things passed, and actually change the party if Trump is getting the support over Congress from Republicans. So that's what I have for you today. Sorry I don't have all my sources listed like usual, but I feel like I need to list my sources and stuff much more if it's like an article review, or maybe I'm gonna do video responses in the future, and for those I would always list the video so that people can see the original source, if in case I talk over something, or if I skip, sometimes I might skip in the video. But I think for an opinion piece, especially when it's just like a review of information that's already out there, I don't think listing sources is as big of a deal. Hopefully you guys don't mind, but if it is a big deal, let me know, and in the future I will, when I do these opinion pieces, with some of them I list my sources anyways, but I'll make sure I'll list all my sources with the opinion pieces. It just, that would take a lot more work, and I'd probably have to make fewer videos because of it. So anyways, have a good one, guys, and I look forward, even if things seem grim right now with Trump, nothing is likely to come of this. Remember that. Keep your energy up, and if we can get a Republican, it's funny because I'm not even a Republican, so this is weird to say, but I feel in order to make real change happen, we need to keep a Republican Congress through 2018. And then at that point, if the Democrats continue to try to stall, are you going to stall for 3 years? That's when the people are going to start getting restless with the Democrats. But they can certainly stall for a year. So, and the people will support them. Democrats will be largely behind them. And for some reason, the Republican establishment, is falling for it. So have a good one, guys. I'll be making more videos soon, so like and subscribe. And I don't know, I might make one. I did a lot of investigation into Pizzagate and Laura Silsby, and there are some, like Jorge Torres Puelo, and there's a lot of people who think there's nothing to Pizzagate, but in the investigation I've actually done, it'd be more like a special report thing. I actually have evidence of, people were actually trafficking children. Laura Silsby actually trafficked children, and she was actually convicted of crimes in Haiti. And her lawyer was, there's like a big thing, there's a big circle about her lawyer who wasn't a real lawyer, and she actually ties into the Clintons, and it's pretty amazing stuff. So I might bring that up, but it's kind of old information. So otherwise, I might go a different route. If you have a topic you want me to cover, let me know, and I'll consider it. But that's it. That'll do it for now. Have a good one.